8. We've all done it. Ran out the door, forgetting our phone, walked into a room, not remembering why we went in there in the first place, or couldn't recall a name or even a word. Forgetfulness, it doesn't have to be a part of getting older, although we always hear that it is. And so Nicole Gann is here with easy ways to boost brain health and to keep your memory sharp as we continue to age, because unfortunately, we can't stop that.
That's right. It's inevitable.
Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Glad to have you here.
So happy to be here.
So let's talk about it, because many people think that exercise is the only thing that is staying physically fit, right? Moving our body. But it's so much more than that. We have to also make sure that we're working out our brain as well.
Absolutely. And I want you to think of this. Movement is medicine for your brain. Okay, it is an important part of your cardiovascular health, but it's a critical part of your brain health because it gets blood flow going, helps reduce inflammation. And a brisk walk in the morning can change a lot of things as far as your brain health is concerned. To really get you ready for the day.
Exactly. Okay, so research has shown that music is actually a simple way to stimulate your brain. And so tell me why music is such a powerful tool.
Here's the core. It activates memory and emotion at the same time. And what we've learned with our residents who live with dementia and Alzheimer's, it often can reach memory and emotion when words cannot serve us anymore. But music is so powerful. Think about a song that was maybe popular when you graduated high school, you got married to, and it immediately gets you there to that emotion. And it activates many parts of our brain, and it's just a beautiful way to exercise your brain in a very simple way.
Oh my God, so I think a lot of the times we probably don't think about arts as a way to cut the brain on, and it really should.
So critical.
Exactly, it should be one of our first steps, I think, almost. And so reading is also a great way to get your brain active. And so what makes something as simple as picking up a book so beneficial for the brain?
You're getting so many tools in one little action. Picking up a book is requiring you to focus. It's requiring you to follow a plot. It's using your imagination. How's this book going to end? What's going to happen? Who's going to die? Who did it? So it's doing all of those things. And if you read out loud, this is really critical. Now you're activating your speech and your hearing, firing off more parts of your brain. So just read the first 2 pages of a book out loud every day, and that'll change your life too.
And these are all just simple steps.
Simple things.
That we can enact.
Simple, consistent things that you can do. This is not anything major. Just consistency is the key.
It is key indeed. Okay, social connection. You just mentioned dementia and Alzheimer's, and usually that's when family has to come into play. We have to surround those who are suffering. And so social connection is something that is not just for them, but for everybody. Why is it so important to stay connected?
We're wired to connect, and we've learned so much about how isolation affects not only our physical health, but we know it affects our brain health as well, and it diminishes cognition. Relationships are so important. Calling a friend, just being there to hold someone's hand. These are things that change people's lives, and dementia can sometimes rob us of the natural way we engage with people, but those folks are still there, and it's our job to still connect with them and be present with them, because that's so meaningful. It creates purpose.
I think also just having patience as well when you're in the situation, especially with a family member or a loved one, understanding that, hey, this is the way they're thinking now, and now we have to readjust. And change is hard, right?
They're thinking differently.
Exactly.
But we can meet them where they are, and they can still find joy and purpose. They can still thrive. You as a caregiver or a loved one can still find joy and purpose too. It just requires us to tweak a few little things.
We got to put a little positive spin on it.
Absolutely, because it is positive.
It is. And you know what? As soon as we change our mindset to stop thinking that it's negative,
I love that,
and put in place those consistent methods, there you go. We're back to living life again.
Absolutely.
Okay, I like these steps. Now, as we move through different life stages, because life does come at us quick, right? We're stepping away from careers, we're raising children. And so we have so many different responsibilities. How does that impact the brain, especially as we age? Do we start taking things off of our plate, or do you think it's great to have a full plate as we get older?
I think it's great to have as full a plate as you want to have, but it is about stress management, and it is about balance, because a regulated brain, I always think this is our brain and this is a regulated brain. This is when we have access to all the things we know we're going to do our best thinking. Flipping our lid, dysregulated brain, fight, flight, or freeze gets triggered. We want to take a walk, deep breathe, meditate, be in nature, because we want our regulated brain living our best life. And then our plate can be as full or as not full as we choose. It's about choice and purpose Always.
Purpose is the big one, I think. So as we age, do you think it's important to find new purpose as we continue to grow?
Absolutely, because that's going to help your brain too, because you're learning new things, whether it's a language or a new hobby or you're joining a new group. I want people to think of healthy aging and brain health like this. You're writing the next best chapter of your life. It's not behind you, it's
all
ahead
ahead
of you.
I like your mindset. You're very
Thank
positive
you.
this morning indeed. Any advice for those dealing with dementia, having a loved one who has it, just staying positive? I know that's easier said than done, and I know that we're saying that this morning, but when times get tough, it can be difficult. So any other advice you have?
Don't ever lose hope, because dementia does not rob that person of their identity. It just changes how they reflect that. But hope is always there. They're still always there. And so there are tools out there. There are organizations such as Fowler that can help you walk that journey and find that purpose as a caregiver and that person living with dementia.
A little bit of community always goes a long way.
Always goes a long way.
Yes, indeed. Where can we find you guys?
JulietteFowlerCommunities.org, and you can also check out DementiaFriendlyDallas.org.
Thank you so much for being here this morning. This was really a good conversation, and I love how you put a positive spin on it, so thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
being here.